I want to start out by saying that this is not a paid ad for the Wall Street Journal. They have not paid me to do this. And I really don't know how they feel about me doing it since, you can subscribe to the Wall Street Journal for like $1.99, $2.90, something like that. Like I think it's like $1.99 a month or something like that. So it's not very expensive. But I don't know. It's still a subscription service, so I don't know how they feel about me doing it, but we're gonna do it anyway because okay, they tell me to take it down, whatever. So the name of this article is "Are You Mentally Fit to Lead? AI Has Thoughts." Artificial intelligence could soon be used to suggest executives are in cognitive decline and help ward off scrutiny. By Callum Butchers. Callum Butchers. I hope I didn't butcher your name, bro. My bad. We should listen to it because this article is kind of long, and I honestly don't feel like reading it. But I'm gonna show y'all I can read a little bit, just a little bit. All right, bosses already live in fear that a verbal misstep will be recorded and go viral. Now they can look forward to a new nightmare in which artificial intelligence analyzes their rhetorical stumbles and suggests they are no longer sharp enough to lead. Don't mind my hat. It's green. You got the green screen. It's not green, but it's a teal. What? Don't mind the hat. Right. So, if that sounds like the premise of a new dystopian workplace drama, consider this. The same week, a halting debate performance shattered public confidence in President Biden's acuity. The journal Alzheimer's and Dementia published a study showing AI can use a person's speech patterns to forecast Alzheimer's disease with roughly 80% accuracy, 6 years before the condition becomes diagnosable. I'm not gonna lie, the way I read that, I might need to be in that. Yeah, AI might need to talk to me, see what I got going on, make sure I'm straight. But lead researcher Giannis, not even gonna butcher his name, Giannis P., a distinguished professor of engineering at Boston University, told me the current version of his machine learning tool relies on a person's responses to set of questions in an oral exam administered by a medical professional. It can be determined whether someone is on the road to dementia from, say, a recording of a CEO struggling through an all hands meeting. Okay, so for the people that don't know what an all hands meeting is, it's like a team meeting for, I guess, everybody in the company. Kinda. When we say all hands meeting, that's basically what it is, or it's like a group or a team meeting, and I guess if a person is kind of stumbling through words, because let's be honest, I mean, most people read in silence. Most people do not read out loud. Like I rarely read out loud. That's why I want to start doing these, so I can start reading out loud. At least I'm not reading out loud to myself. I'll be reading out loud to y'all. So like, if I'm missing words and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? It might take me 1 or 2 takes to do it, but at least I'm practicing reading out loud. Most people don't read out loud. I read books, but I read in silence. So most people can't read what's on a page or practice reading what's on the page. That doesn't necessarily mean you can't read. You may stumble over a few words. You don't read out loud every day. I don't read out loud every day. So, I can't say a CEO has a cognitive decline or dementia because they can't read out loud. But now if they go from being a person that was able to read out loud, say 5 years ago, and in the last 5 years they've declined in their reading, then maybe. But from 1 or 2 studies of a person reading out loud that hadn't read out loud in 3 or 4 years? No, I don't. I don't think so. But let's keep going. Not yet. That is. P envisions a near future of people using AI-powered mobile apps to raise red flags on themselves or others. The risk of a false positive is outweighed by the potential harm of cognitive decline going undetected, he says. Okay. If you can develop tools to democratize screening, then more people would have access to better care, he says. Neurologists, not AI, should make the final diagnosis, he adds, of course. The advances still have the potential to unfairly cast doubt on people's competence, even as they help some patients get a jump on treatment, says Dr. Brad. It's so hard to read articles. It's not like a book. It doesn't flow. You know what I'm saying? Like in a book, everything flows. Like you kind of understand what's going on the page. In articles, no. It jumps from what one person says to the next person to the next person, and it's all different like sentence structure. It's so weird. But says Dr. Brad Dickerson, a neurologist at Massachusetts General Hospital. So what I got from that top part, and I don't even think I need to read all of this. It's going to be tricky to figure out what is useful to empower people, blah, blah, blah. Suppose you lose your train of thought while battling jet lag or blank on colleague's name after pulling an all-nighter. AI could deem such gaffes, signs. I've never seen that word. Gaffes, signs of cognitive decline, accurately or not, and an employee who posts the boss AI assessment on social media could set off a wave of scrutiny. Yeah, so what I got from that is like, that's crazy. Like I just said, most people do not read out loud. I don't read out loud. I really don't. So me sitting here reading this out loud, I'm going to stumble over some words because I don't feel like I can't not read. I read all the time. Like, feel like I'm fairly competent enough to read. But since I don't read out loud all the time, I feel like I'm going to stumble over some words. That's just what it is. So if I've been up all night and I've been doing something, boom. And that's the thought pattern of AI, right? And that's what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to avoid AI being fed bad data because it's going to be fed bad data. It's how we parse out the bad data that will help AI in the long run. Like if we have an app that shows cognitive decline from AI assessment and I stumble over 2 words in this video and y'all go in there and be like, oh, even if you think I can read or not, even if I know I can read or can't read, whatever the case is, if you go in there and it says the app tells you that he's in cognitive decline, like I feel like you need like 5 years plus of actual research, 5 years plus of actual study, like AI data on one person to be able to say this person is in cognitive decline. But on top of that, you need 5 to 10 plus more years of a lot of people that are having cognitive decline to feed it into an AI system. Like this is not something you can do tomorrow. I don't care because you don't know the speech patterns of everybody that will have Alzheimer's or dementia or cognitive decline. Like I don't feel like it's a set way to know that. If a person goes from normal to slurred speech, yes, okay, but slurred speech is not gonna be the number one thing. Maybe, I don't really know. I don't know anything about cognitive decline or Alzheimer's. I don't have anybody in my family that had it, so I don't know the progressions of that. But I feel like this will take 10 plus years. And it's saying, like, in this article, it's saying like the near future where we would, where did he say we live in a blah blah blah. P envisions a near future of people using AI powered apps to raise red flags on themselves or others. He said near future. 10 years? 15 maybe? I'm thinking more like 20. I'm thinking more like 20. To even think in the near future it's gonna be possible to read something that hasn't been studied. Like, I don't think they've got enough tests on cognitive decline. They don't have enough voice recordings. They don't have enough anything to sit there and say, in the near future, yeah, we're gonna be able to say people are early Alzheimer's. Like, that's not possible in the near future. 10 years, maybe 20, maybe. And that's why a lot of people are sitting here saying, like, AI cannot take over as fast as y'all think. It needs more data. You got to think, computers have been around for a while, kinda. Modern computers, modern internet, modern stuff like that has maybe been around. When did YouTube come out? 2006, 2007? Like, I was 6 or 7 at that point. Like, so, like, I'm going to just go based off of YouTube because, honestly, I remember using dial-up before that. YouTube still used, I think I was using dial-up when I was using YouTube. But, like, it was slow. It was awful. Like, you couldn't look at it on your phone. You had to be on a physical desktop. Click the button at the top or the side or the front, an old HP desktop, and you clicking the button on the side and the front, and you're using dial-up. Like, we were using phone cords to connect to the internet. And this was what, 10? I'm 25, so this was what, 15 years ago? So modern internet has only been here for maybe 15 years. Maybe 20, if you want to say 2000 plus of modern technology. And I don't even think 2000 counts. I really want to say 2010 plus is when we really started to get modern internet. Is when we really started to get modern stuff. When we really started to understand a lot about life through technology. That was 15 years ago. So we have collected, and before we knew we were going to be doing this, so personally, honestly, we've probably only collected from like 2015 up. So the last 10 years, we have 10 years worth of data collected. And as humans, you know, just like I know, humans are awful at everything. We may be smart, we may be able to think, we may be able to create. But creating good stuff, humans are not great at. We're just not. The stuff we create works, but it's not great. So if we're feeding these systems bad data AI can only spit out what's good, like what it knows. So if we're creating bad data and we're feeding these AI systems bad data, it it's gonna spit out bad data. We need at least 10 to 15 to 20 good years of good data for AI to be good. That's all I want to say on that. So let's continue. So this is a topic that deserves attention and deserves to be put through its paces with regards to ethics. Dickerson says, blah, blah, blah. That's personal. Candidates often go through a battery of tests to show they're fit for duty, and AI is bound to make the process feel even more invasive. Is this the same? Yeah, it's the same. This article is long. This article is long, bro. All right. Research teams at West Virginia University and the University of California, San Francisco are each testing AI tools that use cholesterol levels, bone density, and other biomarkers found in blood to warn of Alzheimer's disease years in advance. The tools still being tested aren't yet used by doctors. For people who might receive a troubling AI prognosis, I don't think the message is to quit your job right now. Like, people are going to be using this to quit. People are going to be using it. Like, what is this article? What? What? Like, think about the CEOs that we have today. Think about the CEOs that we have today. I think most people are stubborn and they don't believe AI anyway. Even if it is right, I don't think they believe it. If I click this button on my phone and tell it to record me talking right now, and it tells me you should quit, you're borderline about to not know anything tomorrow, you think I'm gonna quit? No, absolutely not. I'm not gonna quit until I don't know anything. I literally won't quit until I don't know anything. And I feel like that's most people. People go out with a bang. If you haven't realized it, people go out with a bang, okay? I'm going to go out with a bang. I'm going to go out saying something I ain't got no business saying. And when it happens, it happens. When it happens, it happens. I feel like that's most people. I truly don't think people are going to sit there and be like, oh yeah, AI told me I'm about to decline. I'm so scared that I'm going to quit my job. No. They're going to go out saying something that they don't have no business saying. They're going to cover it up and blame it on them not being all here mentally. We know how it is. We know how it's going to be. That's just how it is. Do I blame them for it? No, absolutely not. That's most people. But this right here saying, I don't think the message is to quit your job right now. Like, what are people implying? What are people implying? The AI is going to be telling people to quit their job because tomorrow they might say something crazy? People say crazy stuff at work every day. I think this is mostly meant for like CEOs to say something crazy because people do not like, the CEO better not say anything crazy. They're saying crazy stuff right now. You just don't hear. All right, let's keep going. So it's more about setting expectations and planning for what your future might look like. Okay, I guess. Stephen Blue, chief executive of railway equipment maker Miller Iniquity, Iniquity, Inguinity. I can't talk. In Ingenuity, Miller Ingenuity. Oh my God. AI. Okay. Miller Ingenuity submitted to a psychological assessment before he was hired. His board of directors received reports from his annual physicals, including blood work and EKG results. Okay. Look at this man, guys. Look at this man. Look at him. Not saying anything is wrong with him. I'm sure he's a beautiful soul. I'm sure he's a beautiful person. But look at him. Y'all think he gon' quit if a blood test say, hey, I mean if an AI test says, hey, you're borderline about to say something crazy tomorrow. You think he quitting? He just said crazy stuff. The man is 73 years old. I'm pretty sure he said some crazy stuff in his life. I'm pretty sure he said some crazy shit before. Like I'm like 1,000% positive he said something crazy before. Like this is not. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He just said some crazy shit. We know this. But let's continue. Blue 73 says he trusts that most corporate boards wouldn't terminate a solid CEO based on an AI prediction of future dementia. Still, executives negotiating their next contracts will be wise to get limits on companies' use of AI health models in writing, he added. So, like, that tells me right there, like they're actually, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're actually using this. Like, did I read that wrong? Hold on. His board of directors reports. His board of directors receives reports from his annual physicals, including blood work. Is that not like ageist? Is that a word, ageist? Like, that's ageist. That's very ageist. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he's 70, because he's in his 70s, we gotta send his blood work. We gotta give him an AI test. We gotta make sure his physicals are okay, so he doesn't perish on the job. Like, in the next 5 years, we gotta make sure his blood work is clean. We gotta use AI to make sure he doesn't say anything crazy in his contract for the next 5 years that we have him contracted to work here. I'm sure he's under contract. Well, he may be, whatever. We need this man for 5 more years. We got to make sure he doesn't say anything crazy using AI. Listen to these companies, bro. Nothing against the companies. Nothing against the companies. It's the thought process, though. It's the thought process. Let me finish this, and I'll kind of go into what I think. One thing to stop AI from sounding the alarm about your cognitive ability. More AI. Most business leaders don't have the White House image manners Biden had to shield him from scrutiny in the months before he dropped his re-election bid. High-tech assistants, though, are the next best thing. The next best thing. Okay. OpenAI, ChatGPT, Google's Gemini is not great. I love Google. I use all Google products. Like, I use Google products. I love Google. I love their ecosystem. But they failed. They kind of failed me with Gemini a little bit. Just a little bit. Like, It's just not great. I love Google. I love Google. But Gemini is just not the best. I'm not saying nobody use it. Please go use it. Try it for yourself. But from my personal use, Gemini is not great. ChatGPT is amazing. ChatGPT is amazing. It does everything I need it to do. And especially with calculations. ChatGPT is amazing. Gemini, but that's just personal opinion. I love Google. Please, Google, don't ban me. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel me, Google. I love you. I love the company. I love the ecosystem. But Gemini can be a little bit better. Okay. Can instantly draft responses to questions submitted by employees during town hall meetings. For example, I prompted ChatGPT to write a CEO's answer to this question from an employee. Why is this company laying off people after record profits last year? And that's another thing with ChatGPT. And that's another thing with like Gemini. So I don't think I need to say any more of this. I don't need to read anymore. So my takeout and what I've been telling people is AI will be great assistance for writing emails, for writing even stuff like this. But if people are losing genuality, and what I mean by that is everything is written by AI nowadays. And I've been guilty of it myself. I've sat down and written blogs for my blog post, and I honestly will be one of those people to admit I've written out blog posts and told AI to enhance them, especially with my language in the blog post. And I don't think that's good. It kind of loses genuality. So if it's not genuine, if I just tell AI, can you please write a report about how we did last year in earnings or this, that, like, that's not genuine. Talk to your people. The best CEOs, the best people, the best managers, everything is genuine. I use ChatGPT to write emails and stuff at work. I feel like that's fine. Like, hey, help me type up an email about this. I feel like that's fine. But let's not lose sight of genuinity. I've been saying it this whole time. Is that a word? Genuinity? Genuineness? Let's just say genuineness. Let's not lose the sight of genuineness. Because like it says in here, it's going to be used as a great, wherever it is, it's going to be used as a great assistant. But a lot of stuff that we think AI will be capable of in the next 5 years is not going to happen. We're going to need 10 to 15 plus years of good data being fed these AI systems to create an impact that we want on a mass scale. And I really feel like that's what it is. AI, and another way you can use AI right now is 100% being able to if you use it as an assistant. Let's say you're still in school. Let's say if you want to learn how to code, you want to learn a subject, you want to learn something like that, use it to learn and teach. Tell it to create you quizzes. Tell it to explain topics to you. But don't build your life based on it right now. It's not good. It's not that good. It's good at being a language model. That's what generative AI is. It's amazing at being a language model. It's amazing at speaking a language, basically. And it's going to pull information that you need to get what the outcome that you want, but you should use that as a teaching tool more than you should be using that as a this is what this is set in concrete. And I myself, even before I started working with this AI stuff that I'm doing now, and even the stuff that I'm seeing, like, is good, but it's not perfect. And you can tell it exactly what to say, and sometimes it'll still give you off answers, which is crazy to me. So take everything you hear with a grain of salt. I like this article. I'm gonna be doing more of these so I can clearly learn how to read, because clearly I don't know how to read. I'm sure people in the comments are gonna be telling me I can't read. That's fine. Beautiful. Just know I read in my spare time by myself, silently. Okay? I read silently. I might not retain much information, but I do read, and I read silently. In the second, third, fourth, and fifth grade, I was able to read out loud to the class. Okay? So let's not do that. Don't do me like that. But I enjoyed this article. If you want to, like I said, it's not paid at all. I'm not making any money from this. But subscribe to the Wall Street Journal if you want to learn more, see more about AI, see more about technology and stuff in general. They got a lot of good stuff on the Wall Street Journal. I read it every day, not only looking for content at this point, but, I read it every day just to keep up with stuff. I don't like certain stuff on there, but I filter it out. I'm always checking stuff about tech. So there you go. Thank you for watching. Please tune in to the next video. Like, subscribe. Don't subscribe. Either way, I still rock with you. Either way, you still a blessing in my life, just for even clicking on the video. So thank you, and catch y'all next time.